Hey guys, it's Nick. Today's episode is going to be about Bisexuality Visibility Week because I am bisexual. I have known that I was bisexual pretty much since I was a little kid. But I remember there were a lot of times where I would kind of express my interest in girls, and it wasn't really met with the kind of support or enthusiasm that I had imagined it would be. So in those kinds of moments, I felt a little bit defeated and didn't really feel like celebrating who I was, and felt like maybe it was better if I just kind of kept those things to myself. But I don't think I was aware that there was a distinction between, or a distinction in attraction. I didn't know there were certain labels or certain ways people identified. I kind of just thought we all came out of the womb and you gravitate to who you're attracted to, and that was kind of that. And then as I grew up, I kind of started to understand, I guess, a bit more of the labels that were just assigned in society. I think the problem I'm having while discussing my sexuality is because it feels, or at one point in time, felt really shameful. So it's kind of hard to talk about my experiences in just this happy sort of lighthearted way, because I still feel a lot of shame, even though it was years ago and I was a kid, and I think all of my experiences should have a valid space, at least to myself. But I feel really bad sometimes about it. I kind of just started closeting myself more. I didn't feel as comfortable expressing who I was, especially in terms of my sexuality, around my family. I was always needing or wanting to be open about my sexual expression, but feeling like I didn't really have anywhere to be open and accepted for who I was. I've known that I've been bisexual for a very long time. And yeah, I wasn't really comfortable, like I said, for a long time coming out about it, because I didn't feel like I had a solid support group to tell it to, that I would feel accepted within and not feel like I'd have to hide myself from. I feel like I didn't, how do I put this? I feel like it was harder for me after a certain point to identify if I was attracted to another woman or not. I was in 3rd grade and I started going to this Seventh-day Adventist school. And like most religious schools, they're not big on the whole gay agenda. So I went there for about 4 years. And the more time went on, I think I started to suppress that even more, because I didn't feel comfortable sharing that with anybody I knew at this new school, because they had a strict code, I guess, of what was okay and what wasn't okay according to the Bible and according to their school teachings. And so I think even in that amount of time, even if I was attracted to someone in my grade or someone older than me, it didn't really process that well for me. And so even now, looking back, I'm trying to figure out okay, well, was I attracted to this classmate? Did I have things for that person? Or maybe it's just a general sense of I was attracted to women. It wasn't I was trying to label and define who I was attracted to or how much. It was just that I liked women. It didn't have to be romantic or reciprocal for me, but I know that was just a general vibe that I was in. But anyway, I moved back to my hometown after 4 years of living in Ohio, and I started 7th grade, and I was making good friends, and after a period of time, I felt comfortable enough to be sort of out. I remember it was my sophomore year. I had a stable enough friend group where I actually, for the first time verbally, expressed that I thought I might be bisexual. I'd learned all those concepts and all those topics on my own. I'd never been educated on that by anyone else. You know, it was kind of just like me, the internet, the media, whatever I kind of take in, whatever I interact with. So by my sophomore year, I was able to understand what bisexuality was. And for the first time ever, I expressed that to my friend group, like I could start to be myself. And then from that point on, from coming out in sophomore year till the end of my senior year, there wasn't like any new movement, any new change until college. College is when I actually decided to like officially come out. High school was just like, okay, I think I might be, and I verbalized it for the first time. But in college, I was like, okay, I think this is what I am. I want this to stick. Like, I want to own up to who I am, and I don't want to feel shame about it, and I don't want to feel like I have to hide. My freshman year, I was lucky enough to make a new friend who was gay. And I was grateful to her because she was the first person I actually came out to. And she was very supportive of it. And she was so helpful that it made me feel like I could breathe. And I was so grateful that I'd found someone that was able to just, I could just be that part of me with her and not feel like I had to feel bad about myself. But unfortunately, on that high of coming out to someone and being able to feel comfortable coming out to other people, I kind of had my moment stolen, and I was outed to the other girls in our new forming friend group at college without my permission, without my consent, and without my knowledge. And it honestly bummed me out. It's maybe not a big deal to the people who were involved, or maybe something that could have been easily misunderstood. I'm not saying I blame the person that had outed me, but I wish that the circumstances were different. And acknowledging that I feel frustrated and disgruntled with that outcome, I think is the first step in being able to let it go. So I have to recognize that I didn't appreciate that she did that to me. She was another girl I met at college. She was in and around our friend group for a little bit, you know, and because she was also gay, I felt comfortable expressing that to her. I felt comfortable enough coming out to her, be like, you know, like I'm bisexual, like, and the reaction from her was also positive. She was like, oh my God, like, good for you. Like, you know, that was what I received. But then she had kind of just went and told the rest of my friends who I wasn't fully comfortable expressing that to just yet. And I didn't know about it until months later, which really bummed me out. I guess I didn't know that I'd been outed, and I never got that chance to come out to them the way I wanted to. And that kind of bummed me out because I really wanted to be able to do that. I was excited about sharing that with the people that I wanted to at the time that I wanted to, and that kind of got taken away from me, which made me feel like that was unfair. So that was that. That was in 2019, 2020. And then the pandemic happened, and then I came home. But I felt taken aback, I think, by the timing of everything, because I was finally trying to be more of myself and more comfortable being open about my sexuality. I think I wanted more time to be able to get to know myself, but because my college experience ended so shortly, ended so quickly, that I never got to be able to experience that. My hometown is more rural. It's more conservative. There are not many gay, bi, queer women here. And I don't have a lot of opportunity to meet those who are. I thought if I was at college, it would give me more of a space to run into people and to form connections like that. But I thought if I had more experience, that when I came out to my family, it wouldn't be like I didn't know, like I was unsure about myself. And that's tying into some other trauma-related issues that I've had, where it feels like I need to know everything about everything in order to really know who I am and to be definitive about the choices that I make. which is unfortunate as I'm realizing it now. But at the time, that is how I felt. I felt like I wanted to have more of those experiences, so that way when I came out and I felt like if I were to be questioned, I'd be like, no, like I know I'm bisexual, which is unfortunate, because I don't think anybody should have to prove their sexuality to anybody. Not family, not parents, not friends, peers, whoever. If you feel like you are, then you are. You should have that right to being open to wanting to know more about yourself. You know, you don't have to know everything about yourself right away to feel valid and to feel like a human being. And because of that, I delayed the process of coming out to my parents. It wasn't until last year, 2021, that I had finally decided, like, you know what, like, I'm going to be out about it to everybody that I know. So I kind of posted on social media for Bisexuality Day last year, and everybody that I had on Snapchat now knows that I am bisexual, or if they looked at my story, they know now that I'm bisexual. And so I remember at the time I felt like I didn't want people to hate me because I might be acting, quote unquote, acting too gay. And hearing it back now, I know it sounds ridiculous because I don't want to give a fuck about what other people think, but I know that it's a valid experience that I went through and that others like me go through as well, that it really feels hard and we feel ashamed for being who we are, and people label us as too much, or like being who we are is bad, and it's frustrating. But yeah, I came out to my Snapchat peers, friends, contacts a year ago. And then finally in this year of 2022, I was able to come out to my mom, my stepmom, my dad, my aunt. And again, the reaction wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. My stepmom was the most supportive out of everyone. My mother, unfortunately, told me she would try to take me to church to pray away the gay, which was hurtful to hear. My father, I guess, maybe just doesn't want gay children, so he doesn't seem very supportive of it. He's not like gonna kick me out of the house and shit like that, but he's not fully on board like I would have wished he was. And my aunt, I don't know, she has a different way of showing her approval or her expression of acceptance. I wish she had been a bit more supportive, but she wasn't negative, so I can't complain. And I'm out now. And if anybody asks, I am bisexual. And I like the label of bisexuality because I know that I'm attracted to men and women. And if I know that about myself definitively, then I'd like to own up to that, because there's not a lot of things I know about me in black and white. And so having at least one label that I'm comfortable with sticking with gives me empowerment, and I like how that feels. I think it's important for everyone to understand that sexuality is more fluid than it is rigid. There are no rules that come according to who you should love or what they should look like and how it should be. I think it's important to live with the fluidity of things. And for Bisexuality Visibility Week, I am proud to be who I am. And I think all of us should be more accepting of each other. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't just feel blue, don't just feel gray. Remember, there's a whole world of color out there to experience. And you are a star on every spectrum. Until the next episode. Bye.